Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be creating our first HTML form, which is going to allow our users to create new posts in our in-memory database. In order to do that, we're going to create two new Flask endpoints. Let's go over down here and create the first one, which is going to be very simple. It's going to give the users the form that they can fill in. So we're going to do app.route/post/form. And then here we're going to define a function that is going to return render template of create.jinja2. This is going to be a file that we're going to give our users, which is going to contain the fields that they can fill in order to create a new post. Let's go and do this first. We always want to go step by step when we do software development. We want to do this, make sure it works, and then we can move on to the next bit. If you implement everything together and then try to see if it works, you may find that it's not so easy to realize where the problem lies. So going step by step, always a good idea. Let's go ahead into our templates, create a new file, which is going to be called create.jinja2. And in here, we're going to do the usual extends base.jinja2. And then a block of content there. And inside this block, we're going to put our form. The first thing is a wee title, just so the user knows where they are. Then we're going to include our form. Okay. And inside a form, we're going to include a div. A div in HTML is just a horizontal block. So if you have two divs, for example, this one here, and then this one here, they will appear one below the other, as opposed to one beside the other. So it's a good way of separating content in HTML. It doesn't really do anything on its own, but it's a good way of separating content. And the content we're going to separate is the different fields. First thing we're going to do is add a label, and the label is going to be for this title field. And the title field is going to be here, input, type, text, and the name is going to be title. Notice how the label has an opening tag and a closing tag, and inside it you put what you want to go in the label. But the input field doesn't have anything inside it because it's a blank field, so you get what's called a self-closing tag. You get a tag that has this weird syntax where it's only a single tag, but it has this / at the end. This is called a self-closing tag, a tag that closes itself. The name of the field is what this for is going to target. So this tells HTML users that this label is for this field. Of course, when you see the text title beside a field, you know that that title is for that field. But if you're blind and you're using a screen reader, you may not see the contents of the label, but the screen reader will be able to look at this for property and tell you that this input field is a title. So it's always a good idea to have these fors. They're for screen readers, not for the rest of us, but it's a good idea nonetheless. Then in the other div, we're going to include a field for the contents of the post. So we're going to do label for content, like that. And then instead of an input type text, which is a single line text field, we're going to use a text area. A text area is just a multi-line field, like that. And a text area does have to close like that. It shouldn't be a self-closing tag. This is just another type of input which can span multiple lines. And finally, we're going to include a final div, which is going to be an input of type submit. An input of type submit essentially is a button that the user can press. And when the user presses the button, they're going to send the data of the form to the server. Now that we've got this, let's go over to our app, run it, and see what happens when we access this endpoint. Let's go over to Chrome and access